were you not, on a gay cruise?
No, you're 120% dick pic.
Everybody that age, they're sperminator.
Yeah.
Because we don't care about anything else. We're walking hard on looking for a hole.
That's. I have to say you're right on that one. Oh, my God.
A stiff breeze comes through the room and you return the favor.
Gonorrhea. No. Somewhere on the outside of this building, there is a hole where squirrels come in.
Better than a hole where dicks come in.
Yeah, better than that.
Going down the stairs to wash the laundry. What the hell? Shh. Pizza. Stop! Stop it now! I order you to stop! I'm still touching myself.
Yeah!
All young bitches want to do is pop pills, smoke weed, get drunk, lay around, suck dick, eat hot Cheetos, charge they phone, get a sew and weave, twerk, be bisexual, eat McDonald's, wash they pussy in the sink, lie, take selfies, and talk shit through Wi-Fi because they phone never on.
I think washing they pussy in the sink is my favorite part. The Vietnamese trade in dongs. Figuratively and literally, I'm sure.
Oh, my God, that's hilarious.
I did decide to look it up. 500,000 dongs is a good night for Pop's ex.
Like most women, he's an emotional thinker.
Good God.
I mean, that's part of the problem we're having now in our society is we have a bunch of emotional thinkers that want the world to, to fall in line with their emotions. It's not. Look, reality doesn't give a shit about emotions.
It's my lived truth. Fuck your lived truth.
No, it's not. It's your perspective.
Kiss my ass.
Literally like, hey, Sergeant Pop, you got to turn your bear suit. I'm like, over my dead body. No. Just give me a statement of charges. Yeah. You're never getting this back. Yeah. You can suck it.
I'm going to wear this with my Russian coat.
you will bury me in this. Hey! Why you gotta fucking be like that, man?
Because I'm an asshole, and I learned from the best. I'm sitting across from him, and I'm pointing at you with all four fingers.
All right, first of all, the Russian jacket is World War II surplus.
I'll send you a picture of it, Sarge.
Yeah, okay. I
got you standing wearing it with holding two giant buckets like you just collected all the chum from behind the dump dumpster at the bar, and you're going to go home and make ice cream out of it.
What's up, savages? Terrence Pop here with another episode that actually is live from the lair. All right. Now, you got to bear with me if I'm a little under the weather tonight. I basically spent from 9 p.m. last night to like 2:30 in the morning throwing up, for like 5.5 hours on and off. It was pretty goddamn miserable. All right, now today we're talking about the coof and the jibby jab and all of the other bullshit that goes along with it. And I also want to remind everyone, in 2021, in November of 2021, Blake and I were debanked from PayPal for talking about this stuff, and we were literally covering basically research papers and studies done on the mRNA vaccine technology prior up until that point. And now we're starting to get the dribs and drabs of what's really going on, and it's kind of scary. Number one, that our mainstream media took the money through the backdoor deals from USAID to suppress all this shit rather than telling us the truth. And then we had big tech get on board with their censorship, which they're still doing to this day. So that's neither here nor there. Now, we got Battledorf in the house. We have got all kinds of stuff to cover today. And I just want you guys to know there's a lot of people out there suffering from the GB jab or whatever you want to call it, the vax. Some people have never got the jab but still have long COVID symptoms.
Nope.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm one of them, so I don't agree with you.
Nope. Stab you in the ass. Interesting because a study just came out that the long COVID symptoms are directly relatable to the poke.
Okay.
So,
I never got the poke.
Well, here's my theory on that. I know you never got the poke, neither did I, but you and I were also pincushions for the United States fucking army.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a distinct chance that some of whatever they stabbed us full of is finally manifesting in your aging and sagging carcass.
That could be.
That's my theory on that, because they used us as freaking guinea pigs. I was handed a bunch of, when we went into Southeast Asia, here's a bunch of pills, take these. What are they? Oh no, doc told us to take them. Okay. And
I never did that shit. If you
What's
couldn't
that?
tell me what it was, I wasn't taking it.
I did a couple of times, and in retrospect, it's probably something I should not have done. Then there's the anthrax series, of which I got all 7.
Yep, I did that twice.
Twice. Why would you do it twice?
I did it once for the first Gulf War, and then I went to Iraq in 2004 and
Oh, and they did it again.
did it again.
Yeah. Yeah, they gave it to us in 99 for some reason. 98 or 99. I'd have to find my shot card. I still have that around here.
So
somewhere.
I will tell you, the second time I only took one of the shots, and then we're supposed to get the other ones in country.
Right.
And neither I or anyone under my direct control received any more shots. We just initialed
no.
on the books.
No. No.
That's exactly what happened. I'm like, yeah, just dump that shit out. We'll just say we did it.
Scratch here, please.
But I mean, I want to see some fucking accountability.
I definitely want to see some accountability. It is absolutely insane. Look, the majority of the stuff we have tonight, out of curiosity, we pulled all of the Pew Research polls, and everybody knows who the Pew polls are. Well, they did a whole ton of stuff on the jibbity jab, and some of the stuff they have up there is pretty interesting. Let's begin with, white evangelical Protestants less likely than other religious groups to have received a COVID vaccine. Gosh, what's that doing there?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. The thing that really...
It's like they're targeting a demographic specifically. I feel as though a specific demographic is being targeted here.
Yep. Well, another thing is, if I recall... like 2020, I mean, the whole COVID thing was just running rampant through the African American community.
Yeah, I would go down into Detroit to go to Eastern Market, and it was very prevalent there.
Yeah, and one of the main reasons is lack of vitamin D. I mean, I'm a white guy,
Mm-hmm.
and if my vitamin D levels are low, I can only imagine how much lower they would be for an individual of African American descent. And
I don't know. I've never looked at their nutritional levels, but I can tell you from decades and decades of experience growing up around Detroit that they don't exactly eat the healthiest diets on the planet, with the exception of the older families that were eating mama's soul food. Because I'll tell you what, a plate full of collard greens, some mac and cheese, and some catfish is pretty healthy stuff.
yeah, I can go for that. But
But
I don't know, man.
there isn't that much of that anymore. That is,
But the thing is they tried to attach a racial component to that. Like, wh wh I don't even know how they got to that,
here's the
conclusion.
thing. Here's the thing. I didn't find one of these in the Pew polls for blacks, Asians, Jewish, what have you. It's just white people.
Mhm.
There's one that does all of the demographics, but there isn't one that is specifically for each of those other groups. And it's amazing. Look at, even though we're talking about this one specific group here, look how many of them ponied up. Look how many of them stepped up to the bat. I mean, it's just 43%, 55%. The majority of these, if I am not mistaken, and we'll see if we can find the poll for that one too. The majority of these are going to be of the female persuasion. I'll bet you.
Yes.
They
Well,
had a real tendency to go for the whole you got to get this, or you're gonna die.
well, women have, let's just be honest, women are easier to manipulate,
In
especially with
situations
fear,
like this, yes. In
emotion.
group psychology, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is absolutely a fact.
Like, as soon as they came out with the vax, I was like, "Wait a minute. Alright, so normally it's like a 5 to an 11-year window to make a vaccine safe and have it tested properly.
Yeah,
And all of a sudden, this mysterious illness is on and Johnny
six
on
to
the
nine
spot."
months. 6 to 9 months they had a vaccine.
Yeah, no.
It's almost like that time when some people did some things in New York and a new government agency was formed that had passed through Congress, established, and deployed in 28 days.
Hmm.
Remember that one? Good times.
Which one was that?
That would be uh what do you- which one was that? Are you for real?
What
Homeland
was it,
Security.
Bush?
Homeland
Oh,
Security.
yeah,
28 days after 9/11 happened.
yeah.
It was researched, studied, tabletopped, written, compiled, edited, sent through Congress. Laws were passed. People were hired. Uniforms and emblems were created. They were sworn in and deployed, all within 28 days. A major government organization.
Yeah, that's insanely fast. It's almost as fast as Doge.
It's almost as though they were waiting for it.
Yes.
Odd.
But
Odd
that's
thing.
another
Odd.
show.
It
That's
is entirely a different show, but the jibbity jabs happened that fast,
Hmm.
which tells you that they were waiting for it. Period.
Yep.
They're waiting. They were waiting. This was a planned event. You do not get a vaccine that has to be deployed around, because to ramp up the productions for that kind of thing, the labs that takes, the equipment that takes, the amount of investment that something like that takes, the testing that's supposed to take place, and I think it was like 8 mice that were tested on the
Boosters were
Pfizer
tested
one.
on, yeah.
Yeah,
The boosters were tested on 8 mice.
yeah, you don't do that in 6 to 9 months. Sorry.
Yeah, and another thing I've been paying attention to are all of these crazy clots that the embalmers have been pulling out of these carcasses. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's almost like there's a clotting agent in the vaccines.
yeah, Yeah.
I mean, it's undeniable. The clots are there. The pictures are everywhere.
Yeah.
It's not like they can go, oh, well, that was a fluke incident and it was this one batch over here. And you notice not a single batch was pulled. They never pulled a single batch of any of that stuff with any of the warnings. And what happened next, and I will acknowledge that Slay News can be shady. They can.
Uh-huh.
But they're always near the X. They're like mortar fire.
Close enough.
They're hitting something, man.
Yeah. Fire for effect. Close enough. Fuck it.
Good shot. Let's get 2 more of those.
Yeah.
God, that's probably one of the coldest things I've ever heard in my life come over a radio. They're mortaring somebody, and yeah, let's just get 2 more of those. like they're ordering French fries. I'm like, well, okay.
I've heard similar shit as well.
Yeah.
Bring
Like
back
a fucking
again
French
for
fry
another
order.
bag.
Top experts testify COVID vaccines killed millions. I got to be careful what I'm saying on the air here, or YouTube will further demonetize us. Not that they've demonetized us at all to the tune of some 90%. I found all of that, by the way.
Yep. Yeah.
I
And
found
we're
all of that
actually
in our records.
And we're covering actual articles.
Yes. For the record, YouTube, we're reading actual news articles here. So,
Yes.
2 leading American medical experts have provided bombshell testimony before the Idaho Senate Health and Welfare Committee that the mRNA vaccines have killed millions of innocent people. Cardiologist Peter McCullough and prominent epidemiologist Nicholas Hulsher were called as expert witnesses. During his testimony, Hulsher presented irrefutable proof that mRNA vaccines are ineffective and extremely dangerous to use on humans. Okay, point of fact with all of these. We just covered that they rushed these out. There's no question of that. So here's my theory. They didn't rush them out. We were the test.
I think it was a depopulation thing.
I think the public was a test to see if the vaccines would be effective and not in curing anything.
And how many
what you
people
just said
line up for that?
All of them. I watched people line up. I literally when Whitmer locked down the entire state of Michigan was actually very refreshing for me because I could go out and wander around and not be bothered by people because I really don't like people. I like a handful of people.
Yeah, I had noticed.
Yeah. I like there's like 7 or 8 people that I like, and my dogs and my chickens, and that's it. But I watched people lining up at the fire station in Rochester Hills, Michigan to get the vaccine. And it was day after day after day. Because I go for walks in the park. I go walk 6, 8, 12 miles because nobody was out there and I could just go. And these lines of people in their cars wearing masks and then shields over the masks and like rolling out their window just enough to put their arm out and they tilt their head away and all this drama over it all. And I'm going, have you people never seen the movie Outbreak or anything like that? You're reenacting the entire thing. And that's exactly what they've done.
Yep.
It was so staged. And I think you're right. I think it was a test to see if this particular vaccine was going to have the effect that they wanted. And it wasn't to cure you. It was to wipe out as many people as they could.
Yep. I think you're correct. Why can't we do it the old-fashioned way and just have war?
Oh, because then somebody with the appropriate tools of war might go, hey, what about those guys over there? Maybe we should go talk to them. Seriously. At some point, somebody's going to go, hey, wait a minute. Maybe we should go talk to those guys. It's going to happen. The law of inevitability it's Murphy. It's just Murphy writ large. What can happen will. Sooner or later, somebody is going to go, you know what? I know who we need to go talk to. I know what doors we need to go knock on. And for the record out there, we know you're out there, FBI special agents frickin' frack. Sit back down, enjoy your energy drinks and frickin' snacks. Okay, because I'm going to disappoint you. We're not plotting violence. We're too old for that crap. We don't want any part of it.
We're just shit talkers now.
All I'm saying is the law of inevitability is a real thing. Murphy's real. Sooner or later, somebody's going to go, hey, wait a minute. We need to go talk to that guy.
Yep.
It's going to happen.
And here's another thing.
Look at the CEO from the hedge fund or whatever that was, the medical hedge fund that got smoked. That's a perfect example.
Now, I personally wouldn't have done it that way, but that's another episode.
Yeah, that guy was just an idiot. That was. Yeah. I have all sorts of theories, and that's a whole other show. That's really just a whole other show. 5 years later, America looks back at the impact of COVID-19. Most Americans say the pandemic drove the country apart. No, but all of the politics around it and all of the politics that have been going on before and after it were specifically designed to drive the country apart.
Yep.
In many cases, the whole pandemic thing brought a lot of people together because a lot of people did do exactly what I was just talking about. At least on the community level, they're like, we're not doing that anymore.
Well, they're actually talking about putting us in camps.
Yes.
If we refuse the vax.
A lot of people were saying outright, kill us. I think it was Howard Stern.
Yeah.
And Schwarzenegger was like, fuck your freedoms. Go back to Austria, you used up has-been. I got bad news for you. You're not popular anymore. That was 1981. Okay, bye.
Well, first of all, we need to get those sound bites and make sure we show that in their faces and never let them forget it. Let's get
that could be a whole different show.
Yeah, let's get these people off the air.
Yeah,
because they in my opinion, sold out to the forces of darkness.
The celebrities who want you dead, and there was a ton of them. It wasn't like a handful of guys. It was like one after another, put them in death camps, kill them, shoot them on sight. There was a couple of shoot them on sites.
Yeah. Or what about this? Don't give them medical care.
Yeah. Don't give them medical care. And, that happened on both sides of our border. The Canadians were doing the same thing. They were really losing their shit.
Mm-hmm.
Over the whole thing. And the thing that baffled me the most, because of the nature of who I was and what I did, I watched carefully and I collected all of the, actually I think I can bring one of them out. Let's see how quickly I can do that while I'm still talking here. I was carefully watching all of that crap. And I found a site that showed the statistics. Aha. Yes, I can. Stand by and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's bring up a new tab there. Let's find a good state that's nice and red. Something juicy. Okay. Let's see here. Share this tab instead. I collected all of these for an entire year for every state. I have a folder sitting over here. And you can see this is Iowa, and you can see what they did. You must act now in Iowa to prevent hospital overload. Our projections indicate a stay-at-home order must be implemented because Iowa is like, fuck you, we're not doing that.
Yep.
The sooner you act, the more lives you save. This is today, and literally nothing is happening, right? But they're like, but in 3 weeks, you're all gonna die.
Yeah, the 2 weeks to flatten the curve bullshit that turned into 3 years.
That's what this was. I tracked all of this. I kept all of the records on this, and it was all just gaslighting. The whole thing, the entire time, from top to bottom, was just absolutely ridiculous gaslighting. Let's go back over to where were we? We were talking about 5 years later. I can get rid of that tab there. Yeah. I got to keep it because we have so many tabs for this. Because I've got like I have hundreds of them.
This is the way it works. I go to my email. I've got about 15, 16 people who send us links and stuff. I'll be like, oh, COVID, send it to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and I always like have one or two like words that explain what it's about. And then he just puts them in a file and they're like, well, we got so much shit. We should do a show on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. That is actually a criteria for some of the shows that we have done. If we reach a point of maximum density, we will put the fat chick on the camera.
Yep.
Oh, did I say that? Sorry. What are you going to do? It just is what it is. It is, it was the biggest gaslighting I've ever seen in my life. And I tracked all of that data and I watched this going on. I'm like, how are people not picking up on any of this? What the fuck is wrong with people? Then I realized that it was, you ever heard of the German dancing sickness?
Yes.
It was like the 15th or 16th century. This whole town, everybody would like dance themselves to exhaustion. And what it was a mass psychosis.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's dancing. I should be dancing too. That's exactly what all of this was, with the lockdowns and the masks and all of that stuff.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to be honest here with this.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
In 2019, when I started, getting the reports from what was going on in China, I was like, that's going to be here soon.
I saw that as well when they were welding them into their apartments.
Yeah, I got hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin,
Mhm,
I got an
mhm.
oxygen generator,
Oh,
all the
mhm,
stuff you needed
mhm.
to like sterilize your house, ultraviolet light thing,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
because I knew it was coming,
Okay.
and it wasn't that expensive, and it wasn't that big of a deal, but to the amount that people took it, I literally lost all my faith in my liberal friends.
I lost one of my very best friends, a guy named Doug,
Mhm.
who took the jab and then 2 weeks later had the first heart attack. He was an attorney in Los Angeles, and if he didn't do it, he would lose his bar. They were gonna any attorney who didn't take the jab, they were gonna disbar,
Yeah,
which is fucking brutal. And the guy had a house in Woodland Hills, which is the valley from like the movie Valley Girl, that valley. And then a couple of months later, or a couple of years later, he was still alive but started to have chest pains again. And then he came to our house for Thanksgiving because he was working down in Tennessee. He had quit being a lawyer. He got fed up with the whole thing when he realized what had happened, and came up here for Thanksgiving. Went back down to Tennessee to work, and then on the 13th, we were doing a show.
yeah.
We were doing a show when I got the call. And it was one of my friends. She's from Kentucky. She called me and said, Ryan just called me. Doug's dead. And he had a heart attack. And the guy was 49 years old, played college football, and was the size of a fucking house.
Okay.
And just died of a heart attack. Like out of nowhere. No history of heart disease in the family or anything like that.
See that in my family, that's pretty prevalent.
Is it?
Yeah, that's why I'm on the 65 and out plan. Not really hedging any bets beyond that.
That's fine. That's fine. Everything else is just more time to irritate people and
Yeah,
plot evil. Yeah.
it's my hobby.
Hone your malevolence, if you will. So here's the thing. These stories are coming out more and more and more. Let's do that there. FDA admits the mRNA vaccines cause cancer because, like I was just talking about with my buddy Doug, over and over and over again, you're hearing about people younger and younger getting these cancers. This wasn't a thing 20 or 30 years ago.
No.
It simply wasn't a thing. When we were kids, how many kids did you really know with an allergy?
Maybe 5.
Maybe 5. I knew like 1 or 2.
Uh-huh.
One kid was allergic to strawberries, and then like 2 kids throughout the years when we were little were allergic to peanuts. That was the big one, peanuts,
Mm-hmm.
which was really strange.
But the thing about the cancers is simply this. At any given moment in your meat suit, you're developing cancer cells. And the only reason you don't die from it is because your body is constantly patrolling itself for these defective cells and it wipes them the fuck out. When you get the mRNA, it cripples your immune system to the, well, actually, what it does is it hypersensitizes your immune system for that one pathogen, that COVID-19. All right. And then,
For the record, gentle listeners out there, I want you to know that this is the guy who had a literal Dr. Jekyll Mad Science lab going in his bathroom when I showed up in 2009.
yeah.
Just so you know.
What happens though is it weakens other parts of your immune system that actually are constantly patrolling for these cancer cells.
Yeah, we're basically born on an arc. And that arc is you're born, you live a bunch, and then you die.
Mhm.
I mean, that's the nature of what we are until we figure out immortality. And frankly, I wouldn't want to be immortal.
Neither would I.
That'd be really irritating.
Yeah.
I have no interest in immortality.
Yeah, I gotcha.
But yeah, it's basically sure. Okay, your body is constantly fighting that battle. I agree with that.
Mhm.
But that doesn't mean they get to inject you with things to make it worse. The FDA has just made the most explosive admission that the mRNA vaccines are spiked with contaminations that trigger a global surge in cancers. The federal agency made the admission after an FDA study confirmed that Pfizer's COVID mRNA vaccine contains dangerous levels of excess DNA contamination. Leading scientists have been warning for some time that surges in deadly cancers among the vaccinated were caused by DNA fragments in the mRNA. What the hell? Injections. These warnings have now been confirmed in a bombshell study conducted in the FDA's own laboratory. So they're being forced to admit that they're the ones who are causing all this crap. Little by little.
Mhm. Yep.
Take your
And
time
see,
with your tea there. We're
what
good.
they're going to do is they're going to dribble the truth a little at a time until this whole thing goes away or it's out of the news cycle.
Yes.
It's
That's
up to
exactly
us
what they're doing. They
to make
always
sure
do that.
that does not happen.
Yeah. Well, the media isn't the media anymore.
No.
The mainstream media has lost control. Lester Holt quit. The embarrassing Joy Reid was just fired. And a whole host of others. They're just the mainstream media is falling apart at the seams because nobody believes them anymore, and everybody gets their news from shows like this.
Yep.
And you've got just ridiculous levels of the old mainstream media. I don't want to call them the old guard because they weren't guarding anything but their Bolshevik masters.
Drink.
Had to slide that in. And they're just coming apart at the seams. I personally believe that there was journalism at one point. I think journalism and media are two different creatures. Journalism was the rare era that only lasted for a short while where reporters, mostly at a local level, like in cities or local state or county news, they reported on stuff. And there are still little reporters here and there, but it doesn't make a difference.
Now,
And
with that being said, I'm just wondering when the FCC is going to start yanking the licenses for some of these big mainstream media and literally turning them valueless overnight.
Yeah, it should happen.
Yeah,
it should happen.
Especially if you could show that they've been lying and pushing propaganda and it's negatively impacting. Like if they lied to us about the poke and smoke and all these people died, they should be yanked off the air.
They put people in camps in Australia. There were tons of videos coming out of Australia where they were putting people in camps.
Yep.
Forcibly relocating their own citizens. And interestingly, every video out of Australia that I saw where they were putting them in camps was exclusively native Caucasian Australians for some reason.
I wonder why.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's very mysterious. It's very mysterious. Okay, where are we? New. That's right. Majority of Republicans say the country has given too little priority to respecting individual choices during the coronavirus outbreak. That phrase right there should convince everybody of what it is that you're looking at. They want to strip individual choice. Like it or not, it's my business if I don't want to go get poked with some experimental vaccine. And I have no business telling you. I can say, yeah, I don't think you should. I don't think it's a good idea. You're a dumbass if you do it. But you're free to not listen to me.
Correct.
These people don't want that. They want absolute control. They want absolute control over what you think and how you do everything.
What about my body, my choice? Unless it's
Oh no, that only applies to them. Bigot, racist.
Yep.
That only applies to them. You aren't allowed to make that call. You don't have a vagina.
Reasons in vagina.
God.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing here.
Yep.
I am thoroughly disgusted with the left because they have become nothing but a bunch of mindless drones.
Yes.
That they'll go to college, they'll get all of those alphabet, numeric, whatever after their names.
Yeah.
But they're absolutely ignorant.
I can give you a shining example of that. This Saturday, I lost one of my sisters, and I don't mean she passed away. I mean, she will no longer speak to me. Now, she was raised in academia from the age of 4, preschool, all the way through. She was a teacher. She just retired. She's 5 years younger than I am. She has done nothing but live in academia. And we understood that she had her politics and I had mine. That's fine. My niece goes by they, them. I want to slap my sister for that, but that's fine. If that's what my niece wants to do, that's fine.
Dude.
Okay. She's in college. She's entitled to be weird while she's in college. She's about to learn some very hard lessons when she graduates college. But okay. So we trade funny memes here and there and grumble about our mother because our mother's a basket case, frankly. But Saturday, I sent a meme of 9 medieval horse drawings, numbered 1 through 9. Which medieval horse are you? And if you've seen medieval horse drawings, like sometimes both eyes are on one side, like Picasso, the horse is like a tube body with little stick legs, shit like that. It's just a funny meme. Which horse are you? At the bottom of it was from post.com or from post, POA.st, which is the Fediverse. It's like all of the autists and weirdos, and there's some Nazis and there's some communists, and they got everybody's on post. My sister loses her mind and says I can't send her memes from Nazi websites. I'm like, what? It's a horse meme. And she launches on me about how I'm fascist and I hate my niece, and you probably want your niece dead because she goes by they, them. And she literally puts she goes by they, them. I'm like, oh, missed that, did you?
So
did you miss
they
that?
were actually coming to your daughter's graduation a few months back.
Yes, and my niece and her friend were fine. It was my sister who was the screwball because she's a drama queen and she's got to live through somebody else to have a life. Anyway, she decides that she's no longer going to speak to me because I sent her a medieval horse meme from a Nazi website. And I said, that's fine, but at least I know which horse you are, ... trigger.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep. All of the guys I used to play D&D with, all of them are out of the
those are my friends too.
Yeah.
Half of those guys are my friends.
I would try to argue with them like, here's this evidence and here's this evidence. And they're like, well, I feel and my truth. I'm like, go fuck yourself. And here's the funny thing is we had a whole bunch of those I feel people
Mhm.
running the
Mhm.
fucking country for 4 years.
Mm-mm.
And what a clusterfuck that is.
They've been running the country since at least 1988, my friend.
No, I
It's called the
understand,
unelected bureaucracy.
but it was painfully obvious on
Yeah.
full display the past 4 years.
Yeah.
At
Yes,
least
it
they
was.
hit it in the
Yep.
80s and 90s to a certain degree.
Well, the whole lockdown thing really gave them their impetus to get thoroughly crazy. It started, in my opinion, with the public craziness, started, in my opinion, with the gay wedding cake baker fiasco out of Oregon
Mhm.
when that got rammed through. Even though that couple had, I think it was 17 bakeries between them and that Christian baker that they could have gone to that would have baked the cake, including like 2 gay bakers.
Mhm.
This lockdown thing is the exact same mentality. Okay, we're going to ignore all of this reality over here and make you pay attention to only this one thing here that we've clearly made up. But if you say that it's made up, we'll call you a bigot.
Bigot!
And I don't care anymore. I'm sorry. I simply don't care anymore. And then what's further coming out while all of this is going on, their whole lockdown thing is falling apart, and we get newspaper headlines like this, which is from the New York Post. This isn't even slay.com.
Yep.
This is the New York Post. CIA becomes latest intel agency to conclude the outbreak likely came from a Chinese lab leak, which is what everybody said from the beginning. Christians in Action has thrown its weight behind the lab leak theory as the most plausible origin of COVID-19 in a low confidence assessment. Without providing details as to why the spy agency was changing its position, CIA informed reporters of its new position on Saturday, just 2 days after John Ratliff was sworn in as the new director. We have low confidence that in this judgment, and will continue to evaluate any available credible new intelligence reporting or open source information that could change CIA's assessment. They knew the whole time, obviously.
Yeah, listen.
But now there's going to be a lot of covering, and I guarantee you the shredders are on full whir.
Burr.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're correct.
Yeah, you ever worked with those shredders?
Oh yeah.
We had them in our skiffs, and we had like 2 or 3 of them. One of them was like a disintegrator. You could throw a hard drive into it.
Yeah.
And it would turn it to a powder.
I got mad at one of my commanders, and I stuffed all of his drawers in his office with shredder confetti.
Oh,
Yeah,
not nice.
Glorious.
Rude, because that shit doesn't come out. He's going to be finding shred. He's going to be finding shred in his stuff like 2 years from now, even.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was like, what the fuck? He comes in my office, and I'm like, I'm sitting eating some ramen for lunch. I'm like, what?
Epic dick move.
Yeah, yeah.
The CIA's shift in assessment does not appear to be based on any significant new evidence, which means they knew it the entire time, because that's how that works. On his way out, former CIA Director Burns had called on the agency to take a stance on the COVID origins instead of staying neutral. Well, they took a stance. I've talked about this before when I worked for no such agency in their military branch. We would report things, and then not 12 hours later, the news would report, and you saw this too.
Yeah.
The news would report something entirely different.
Totally different.
The guys on the ground, those of us who were doing the actual reporting and activities, those guys, I never met a bad one. I'm sure that's changed now. It's 2025. I was operational literally 22 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the guys above the rank of lieutenant colonel that were doing all the changing of the stuff, because they were jockeying for their position in the military industrial complex, or jockeying for a position as an SES.
The next job.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's where all of that stuff came from. Now, while that's going on, everybody's thinking about the nation's response to all of that crap. Fewer than half say the country was given the right amount of priority to the needs of K-12 students, public health, and quality of life. But basically, do you remember what happened to the schools
Shut
when Whitmer locked it down? Kids started committing suicide.
Yeah.
Children were committing suicide. The news had to stop reporting it. And it has not been reported to this day. There was like a dozen reports of it came out around the country, and then all of a sudden they shut it off like a spigot. And you and I know, because we deal with this stuff on the daily, but with our own brothers, that shit doesn't go away.
Yeah, it doesn't just turn off.
The damage done to the kids' psyches, because kids at that age need the interaction. They need to be with their peers. They need some form of socialization. That's the period in their lives when they're being socialized. Now you turn it all off and tell them they can't even go outside and play.
Wow, what a clusterfuck.
Those are the people that I want to put my hands around their necks the most.
And I want to know is, where are all the lawsuits for all of this mandate shit?
Everybody's rabbit holed it.
Wow.
Everybody's rabbit holed this stuff. There's the Iron Pig Smokehouse up in Grayling. That guy, I think his name is Ian. He is standing on their necks hard and will not let it go. And he grabs it and shakes it like a fucking junkyard dog every day, trying to get people to keep going. I'd actually like to go up there one of these days and tape a show there with him.
Yeah, we could do that.
On this.
Yeah.
And eat some barbecue on the side. But he's like a pit bull. He will not let it go. He's like, you tried to destroy my business. I'm coming for every last one of you sons of bitches. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him. Everybody should be doing that. I lost a business. I had a business.
Yeah.
And it got smoked by the lockdowns.
I mean, again, this is all, poke and smoke craziness. And it destroyed a lot of small businesses.
Yes.
I know there's a whole bunch of bars that are still closed to this day.
Did the Blarney ever reopen?
It opens now and again, but it doesn't get the foot traffic it used to.
That used to be one of the best bars in Detroit.
Yep. Actually, it's in the Blarney Stone in Berkeley.
It's in Berkeley, but it's on the Woodward Drag. People going back and forth between Detroit and Pontiac gave it a lot of its traffic. I worked at the Denny's on 12 and Woodward. I waited tables on midnights. Try waiting tables in a Denny's in Detroit on midnights, dude. 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, the squirrely motherfuckers you get in there. Whee! That's a whole show all to itself.
Yep.
Let's see. Where are we now? Let's go back to the year 2022. Blake, we need a Scooby-Doo effect so we can time travel. That's the one. That's the one.
Yeah.
55% say vaccination is extremely effective or very effective at limiting coronavirus spread. This is from July of 2022, right when it was starting to come out. And the propaganda was thick. Do you know why the 55%? So they could have a majority. Nobody would buy 70 or 80%. Everybody knew that wasn't true. But 55 is just enough to have your majority, but just low enough where, like, well, I don't know anybody who said that, but 55% could be convincing. It's a standard propaganda technique. Anytime you see 51, 52% in an election, you're being gaslighted.
Yeah, but it did not stop transmission.
No, it didn't do anything. It didn't do any except kill people.
Yeah.
Well, in theory. Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly. There. We got that disclaimer in there.
I mean, there's that guy, the Nurse Campbell out of England, who covers a lot of this vax stuff.
Yeah.
And the 5-year moving average of, people who pass away has been much higher since they rolled out the vax.
Right. Now, this is very telling here. If you look at the statistics, The vax was, they say 55%. And then it starts to show the cracks here. Only 49% thought masks were useful. The masks were not useful. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say, okay? I've been through a whole lot of biochem training. Pop, I know you did, especially with Group and Ranger.
Uh-huh.
How many times did they freaking gas you and then give you the VX classes? And what was the other big one?
There was the blood agent VX.
Sarin. There was Sarin. There was VX, and there was whole classes on all of this stuff.
And they would just say that the stuff you put on is only going to extend your life 8 hours.
Yes, and we were wearing full suits. So to say that a paper mask is going to save you from any of this, you're an idiot. I don't care. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you've heard. You're an idiot. It's not going to do anything. Okay. Sorry. Limiting activities, interactions with other people, we're down to 48%. Wide availability of the rapid tests, we're down to 39%. Okay, those tests, let's say you're doing that test at home. Now, you're testing for a specific disease, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're doing this at home, right?
Okay.
Okay. Now, when you're doing a test for a specific pathogen, should you be in your kitchen where you just cleaned a fish, your dog has probably been shedding all over the floor, and your kid was snotting all over the counter as he ate a Go-Gurt? Or should you be doing that test in a clean lab made for that type of activity?
Yeah.
It's self-evident. It's not a pregnancy test where you pee on it and the thing picks up a hormone and you get a pink line.
Correct. I don't know, man. This whole thing is just it's just creepy. Like, I'm starting to come to the conclusion that we as a species probably should not exist because we're fucking.
We're making all kinds of arguments that we should be not. But you know what? Here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are.
All right, I'm going to do the basically announcement.
Oh yeah, do it.
All right. If you all know we've been demonetized by all rhyme and reason by YouTube, and we make roughly
1/10
of what we used to pull down on this channel. So any little bit you send in to keep this thing rolling forward is helpful. So, we have Cash App, we have Square, we have Stripe. So it is what it is. There's all kinds of ways to donate. We appreciate every cent of it. Thank you in advance. All right.
Absolutely. Yeah, seriously. Thank you. Look, I was able to go back and pull all of the records between 2017 and the period of time that we're talking about now, 2022, roughly. And seriously, you can see there is a precipitous drop off. It goes from making good money to nothing.
Yep.
I mean, it is a cliff. It's literally a cliff, and it's right at the time of the events that we're talking about right now. Just whoop.
Yep.
Dropped 90%. So there's no saying that, oh, nothing happened. It's just, things happened and stuff. And no. Sorry. What was the other one? Oh, yeah. Sorry. That screen right there. The bottom one was my favorite. This was the most arbitrary thing I've ever heard in my life. And anybody who put any faith in this should be punched in the mouth and then punched in the back of the head also. Staying at least 6 feet apart from other people indoors.
There are some Nazis about that too.
Why are you an idiot?
No, I remember being in the grocery store and having people like, don't stand so close to me.
I used to taunt people deliberately. I was a dick. I was a complete dick about it. I'm like, oh, what are you going to do? Look, I'm 5 feet 5 inches away from you.
Yeah.
Lose their fucking minds. And it was just hysterical. Let's see here. Let's see. And then, of course, we've got here's where the division came in. Oh, it divided the country. Well, maybe your polls were dividing the country. Republicans offer much lower ratings of public health officials than Democrats because one was moving in lockstep and the other was going, none of this seems quite right.
Mm-hmm. Now,
And
let's.
this to this day.
All right. So this is where I can only get on board with something like this. If there was a pathogen that had a 50-50 kill rate,
Ebola, except Ebola doesn't transmit.
I know. If there was something out there that had a kill rate like that, maybe I could get on board with some of these draconian
Draconian.
methods. But it's a common cold on steroids.
Yes.
That's it. And if you had pre-existing conditions, low vitamin D, it had a really good chance of whacking you.
Yes. Yeah, that's fine. I'm so angry right now. I'm having a hard time collecting my thoughts and producing a stream of speech. So just give me a second. I'll be fine. Look, when I got to Korea in 97, one of the engineers got Hantan virus. And
Ooh.
I don't know, you know what Hantan is?
I've heard about it.
Okay, so what Hantan does is affect the renal system, which means it attacks your kidneys. It comes from the rat shit in the dust in the rice fields in Korea. So you typically get it late fall, early winter when the snow hasn't fallen yet. The rice paddies have been drained and they're dry and dusty. And this guy got Hantan virus, and it was such a stereotypical case that they actually filmed it. This guy was pissing a gallon of blood an hour.
Wow. He probably didn't live much longer.
He did not. He only made it a couple of days. It literally just drained his body of every fluid through his kidneys, which could not take it. And eventually they didn't just fail. One of his kidneys ruptured.
Wow.
They basically just shot him up with a whole shitload of morphine and let him go because it took him so quickly that they couldn't keep him hydrated. He was pissing a gallon an hour.
I'm going to be honest. I'd prefer that.
Yeah.
I mean, so what? You're going to live the rest of your life on dialysis, even if you do recover?
Right. Yeah. He wasn't coming back from that. He was not coming back from that. That's what a real serious pathogen does. And I know it's not a super chat, but I'm going to read this one anyway. Tantalum says it sounds more like some sort of radiation sickness. It's not. That's Hantan virus. And it's very real, and it's very common in the drier, cold Asian countries. Well, I shouldn't say very common, but that's where it comes from. Mm-hmm. And if you get it and they don't catch it fast enough, you're done. You're just absolutely fucked.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's transmitted through dried rat shit in rice fields.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good at all.
No.
Yeah.
The point I guess I'm getting at here is everybody was losing their shit over COVID, and it's like you said, it was just a cold on steroids.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the mysterious little fact that, speaking of that, all of the cold and flu stats disappeared for those years.
Yeah, miraculously, the flu was cured for 3 years.
Not a single case.
Yep.
Not a single case during that time. Yep. But yeah, a real pathogen that is really dangerous, you'll know right away. It will absolutely destroy a person. It's really freaking brutal. I've never seen anything remotely like this before. Yeah. And that was a sobering fucking experience. That was a really sobering experience. Let's see here. This one also is from 2022. We'll bring this one up. Younger adults are less confident that U.S. healthcare system could handle a future global health emergency. Younger adults are less confident that the healthcare system could handle it. Why did they do the same title twice? That's very odd. How lazy. So this is their levels of concern, and you can see that young people are like, I don't think you're going to be able to pull this off anymore. Basically, weak men produce hard time. times produce strong men produce good times produce weak men, and on the cycle goes.
The fourth turning.
We are in hard times right now, and our youth, I'm seeing a lot of stuff on the internet in various chat rooms. I monitor a whole bunch of stuff a lot of the time. I say this to people all the time. Do you want Adolf? Because this is how you get Adolf. Well, guess what? A lot of the young kids are going, can we talk about that Adolf guy a little more? It's happening.
Yeah.
And it's even happening in Germany now. It's even happening in Germany where they tried to like completely obliterate the whole idea. The youth are beginning to go, this is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
We know it's bullshit. We're through with your bullshit. And then comes, after we're through with your bullshit, comes
action.
And
let's just leave it at action.
Yeah. Now it's time for our bullshit, and our bullshit is kinetic. So
action.
Right. It's kinetic action.
Yeah. And you know what? Like I had a little disagreement with some of the people that I know on the left. And they're just going on and on about this crazy ass bullshit. And
yeah.
It just got to the point where I'm like, not going to argue with you anymore. Once this goes dynamic, I will see you on the field of battle. And there, I'm a walking fucking nightmare. Just remember that.
Not only that, but most of them, if we see them on a battlefield somewhere, it'll be as we step over them.
Yes.
Because they'll have already been waxed. They are not capable of...
They talk a big game.
Yeah, they're not capable of any of the things that they claim they want.
Yeah.
They're incapable of those actions. You had incidents where, like Robespierre during the French Revolution, the socialists took over, and then Robespierre took over. The socialists got the king and the queen. Okay, they'll get through a couple of people. They will do that, but then they're like, they rally in the streets. But that's when the real sociopaths like Robespierre and his boys show up.
And everyone got guillotined.
We have chaos. Let's make order out of chaos our way. Guillotine for everyone!
Didn't he get guillotined at the end?
He ended up guillotined himself. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that is exactly correct. But that's the problem when socialists who cannot control their revolutions, when they lose control to the sociopaths. Then you get Pol Pot. Then you get the Kim dynasty. Then you get Beria, the head of the KGB during the Bolshevik era.
Drink.
Under Trotsky. Oh, I got you. See. People like that. You get Che Guevara. Everybody's like, oh, Che is such a revolutionary hero. Okay. Hemingway wrote about this guy executing blacks and women. Go on, go look it up. And then Hemingway
get whacked at the end as well.
Che?
Yeah.
You went through McCall, right?
Yeah.
What year did you go through McCall?
92.
Okay. I was there in 2003. There was a classroom. So you were there before Gothic Serpent.
Yep.
Okay. When I went through, when you walked in the door on the south side of the classroom, just inside to your right was Shugart's Medal of Honor that his wife donated to the school. And then on the other side of that was a photograph of a dead guy in a jungle. Do you remember the photograph? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. They had him all laid out and everything.
Yeah, they got this guy. He's in the jungle, and there's a group of, it was triple nickel.
Yeah.
It was ODA 555. Standing over this guy on the jungle floor, and the photograph strongly suggested that the Bolivian police relate to the party.
It's kind of like those Wild Wild West photographs where they have the outlaws taking pictures of.
Yes.
Yeah, he got whacked hard.
The Bolivian police did not get Che, but that's the official story.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah, that's fine. Anyway, you saw that picture too. Sweet. Yeah. You're the third person I've met outside of that remembers that picture.
Well, I mean, in that schoolhouse, there's all kinds of pictures like that.
There's so much memorabilia in there.
Yeah.
There's I was standing, it was my first exposure to that realm, and I'm looking at a picture of a guy with a Barrett, a SF sniper with a Barrett on the wall, and there's a guy standing next to me. I'm like, oh, that's a Barrett. And he goes, I know, I'm a sniper. I'm like, well, okay. I mean, that stands to reason. Where were we with the Utes? And we're still in 2022. This is about 7 in 10 U.S. adults say they are fully vaccinated against the COVIDs. I think this number is way high.
You think so?
I think it's closer to 50%.
I hope so.
I think it's closer to 50%. I don't, because in countries like Europe, in places like Europe, countries like France and Spain and Sweden and the United Kingdom and those places where they've got a lot more control over their population, I could see numbers like this, and I've seen numbers like this. The U.S. is so geographically spread out that I think these numbers are wrong, and they might be taking them off of. They might be saying 70% off of the cities.
It also could be the PR, like, oh well, 7 out of 10 people are vaxxed. It's just fine.
7 out of 10 people thinks this toothpaste makes you better in bed.
Yeah. Okay. Consensus does not mean you are correct.
That is correct. That is absolutely correct. It's a good lesson to learn, by the way. See, you learn things on this show.
We're here to learn you.
We're here to learn you some things.
And some shit.
So this breaks it down into age brackets, and the highest rate is 65 and up, and that's because, and this is just what I believe to be so, I think the 65 and up age bracket is a lot more vulnerable in situations like this. Many of them are already going to doctors. Many of them are already living in nursing homes or have some form of care. Many of them are on routines, and it's a lot easier to get to them. So this is the number here that I can believe, and it's infuriating because I know that at least in the state of Michigan, tens of thousands of our elderly died alone in nursing homes.
Blake's grandmother.
Jesus Christ, on a bicycle. I didn't know that.
Yep. She died all isolated and alone in one of these rest homes, and they would not allow him to see her or anything. I would have gotten killy at that point. I'm sorry. I absolutely would have gotten killy at that point. I'm just when he tells the story, it just breaks my heart, man.
That's fucking heartbreaking. That's the first time I've heard that. That's absolutely fucking heartbreaking. Blake, I'm so sorry, bro. I'm so sorry. I would absolutely have gotten killy over that.
That's some fucked up shit, man.
Wow.
Also, we have a comment here that there was no deaths amongst the Amish.
Mysteriously.
Yeah. Who knew?
That's true. There were no deaths reported among the Amish communities. Also, the majority who took an at-home coronavirus test did so in response to the symptoms. We're still in 2022 here. 63% were experiencing. They were indistinguishable from the flu or the cold.
That's right. The coronavirus is a cold virus. So if you have the common cold, you're still going to trigger the COOF test as well.
Do you remember what happened with the president of Tanzania
I believe he
at
said
this
he's
time, at 2022?
he died.
He was assassinated.
Yes.
He was assassinated, but he was
Sure.
assassinated after he took the COVID tests and applied them to a goat, a mango, and a brick. I think it was a brick. I know it was a goat and a mango, but I think the third thing was a brick. And they all came back positive.
Yep.
And he basically, we've got a guy in Africa who's got more common sense than the entire United States of America. And he was assassinated shortly thereafter. Yeah.
All right. Remember we were just talking about the turbo cancers?
Yes.
So here's a funny story.
Mhm.
Pete, my best, he's like my brother, Pete.
I know Pete.
We served together for many years.
Yeah.
He works for AT&T.
Okay.
And during the whole mandates, he basically said, I'm not taking the shot. He went to his union store, and his union store said, oh, well, I guess you're going to lose your job then. Ha, ha, ha. Well, that same union store had to have his hand cut off after he got like 5 or 6 of these vaccines because he developed this incredibly aggressive cancer.
Uh-huh.
That to
And his
take his
hand
whole
became
limb off.
necrotic.
No,
Yeah.
it was just spreading so fast. So they chopped his hand off, and then he finally had to be medically retired out of the company because that same turbo cancer spread throughout his entire body.
Oh, that's a shame.
So I guess the joke's on him. I mean, I feel bad that he burned
I never
it.
wish anything like that on anybody.
Yeah,
I never
I'm
would
just
wish
saying.
anything on. But when you get your karmic enema, I mean, you asked for it. I'm sorry.
You're right. You're right. And I kept telling I'm Pete, give me his email. I will torment him. He's like, nah, let it lie.
Let him be, man. Let him be. Let him be. He's already paying the price.
I
He's
know.
already paying the price.
It
Yeah,
just pissed me off when I heard that.
No, I get it. I get it. But I try not to wish anything horrible on people like that. That's and when they do get it, I'm gonna say, hey, you kind of asked for the karma enema there, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You really did sort of ask for that.
Yeah, Pete just said in there, he said he lost his hand, then lost his arm, and then he was medically retired. And because he didn't work, because he was sucking off everyone else's union dues. He got a scrawny pension. Bummer.
Oh, that's sad. So this whole thing started in early February of 2020, pretty much. And really peaked around 2021. Right around 2022, people were starting to go, kind of had enough. And the graphs finally admitted that this was the case. And you can see that people were like, nope. But by the middle of 22, they were like, over it. I'm through. I've had enough of your damn silliness.
Yeah. How long are you going to keep us locked down? It's already been 2 years.
How long were the Michigan lockdowns?
It went on for a while.
Hang on.
I literally, I didn't really pay
I
attention.
ignored them. I didn't pay any attention to them at all.
Yeah. Yep. In fact, I'm still at the gym, the Gold's Gym at 13 in Hoover in Warren, because that guy said, fuck it, I'm not shutting down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll give that guy my money.
Yeah. Let's see here. Impact. There isn't an actual. This is interesting.
What?
They're not really giving dates for it anywhere. Here's the initial order
for Michigan.
Yeah, I'm looking for it right now. I'm trying to bring it up. and it doesn't really want to cooperate. I'm very surprised by this.
I'm not.
I'm kidding. Okay, it looks like it was around 6 months. That doesn't sound right. It was longer than that. Yeah, site can't be reached. Oh, big shock. Yeah, a lot of those sites have been taken down. That's why I screenshotted the hell out of that one. I knew it was going to be taken down. The second I saw those numbers coming up, I knew it was going to be taken down. It was just absolutely insane when that happened. It's how do you isolate a healthy population? What logic do you use to isolate a healthy population? And my big concern now is, now that that's happened, what percentage of the population would respond to that again?
Probably not as many. And unless it was an egregious where 50% of the people were dying. Okay, maybe that would, you can pull something
we'd
like
have
that
to
off.
have a real serious outbreak that where you could see actual results and people actually falling over dead. I'm going through your huge stack. There's like hundreds of these, dude. I'd share my screen, but this screen has too much information on me, and I'm not going to hand
Dox
that.
yourself.
No. But we'll share this screen here. This is from the Burning Platform, which is another slightly sketchy news agency that gets things right anyway. The risk of developing lung disease was higher in kids who were jabbed, whether or not they were infected with COVIDs afterward. Well, point blank, there's a lot of evidence, like we were talking about earlier, that these things cause clots and turbocancers. The images of the clots that were coming out were insane. It was like everywhere.
Yeah.
And then the news refused to report any of it. I remember the news reported a couple of incidents, and then again, it was like a light switch. Doop. Don't report any of that. I think one of the things that need to be done, if we can get all of this into courts, is the reporters who shut all of that down, who didn't report on it. And I'm sorry, we're going to go by the freaking Nuremberg I was just doing my job rule.
Mm-hmm.
You were just doing your job. You were just playing your part in the attempted genocide of your own people. They all need to be tried. All of those reporters need to be tried as accessories for covering up one of the most heinous crimes in the world. And while we're doing this, I'm going to take advantage and teach a moment of history here. There are people who claim that even the journalists were hanged at Nuremberg. This is from the records at Nuremberg. There are no records at all of any journalists ever being hanged at Nuremberg. There was one minor newspaper owner. He was the owner of a newspaper who was hanged, but he was the Nazi Party representative in that town, and that is what he was hanged for. No actual journalists were ever hanged at Nuremberg. These journalists, however, should be hanged. They absolutely should be hanged because they participated in gaslighting people during what very much looks like an attempted genocide.
See, I could not, in good conscience, get paid as much as these guys are paid to lie to people so they die.
Yes.
I couldn't do it.
That's
I
what,
like, fuck it, I'm out. I'm not doing
that's why I want to go all the way to the rope and not just give them a couple of years for conspiracy.
Yeah, I got you.
That's why I want to go all the way to the rope, because it's what a heinous thing to do. It's almost as heinous as forgetting to click bring into the studio when the monkey shows up.
Just got here.
Hey, man.
It's all good, bro. I don't know, man. All I can say is we need to do something to the mainstream media and all of the actors who
Yes.
were either complacent or willingly gaslit the entire population of the
Yes.
world.
Yep.
I mean, typically, when I think of like a reporter, is somebody who like shows up, tells you the facts, they have the camera, they show you the scene behind them, they tell you what happened, and then you
Sure.
can formulate your own opinion.
Right.
But when they're up in front of you lying and telling you that their opinion is truth, that's a huge problem.
Yeah, that's absolutely. It's a massive problem. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like I said, there's a difference between a journalist and the media. There's a difference between a reporter and these talking heads on these shows. And there are no real journalists or reporters left now, except at a local level where the guy shows up and reports on a car crash. And there's no real reason to spin that or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But even the reporters today now, like there was a huge fight in the airport in Atlanta.
I saw that.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Try to find a reporter who mentions the fact that everybody involved was black.
Yep. Nobody actually got hurt either. It's just a brawl.
It was just a brawl.
Yeah.
It's just a brawl. That's fine. But they conspicuously stayed away from that. They conspicuously stayed away from it. There was a news clip, though, that I want to mention this just because this is funny. Did you see the guy where they tried to steal his shoes?
No.
In like a cell phone store or something. Two guys sneak up on another guy, and one of the guys grabs his leg and goes to pull his shoes off. He's apparently wearing some expensive shoes or something. And the guy that gets attacked is packing. And he smokes the accomplice standing behind the guy attacking him first, which tells me that this guy had some kind of training. Because he shot the guy that was standing there waiting for the assailant. And then the assailant goes, "Oh my God, that was a gunshot." You see him like back up a little bit. And the guy being attacked smokes that guy, grabs his shoes, stands up, and calmly walks out. And as he's calmly walking out, he shoots the first guy in the head that was like trying to crawl away after having been shot.
He probably not gonna get away with that.
Yeah,
I would argue that I didn't know whether or not he had a gun. I was taking a precaution.
Yeah,
Still self-defense.
Yeah, it's argument. Unfortunately, we're going to see a lot more of that.
Yep. Depending on what city or state he was in, they're probably going to go after him for that second shot as he was walking out.
Did you see that one, Jimmy?
I did see that.
That was so good. That was funny as hell. The first guy was just like, "Oh my God, I've been shot." And then the second guy is like, he just got smoked. Hey, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. So speaking of being injected with objects, COVID-19 mRNA vaccines increase the risk of asthma. I am looking at the wrong screen. There's the one that I want. Zeneca pulls vaccines globally after evidence links injections to sudden deaths. This is May 8th of last year.
Now, remember when they were trying to tell you that people really weren't dropping dead?
Yeah.
They tried to blame it on marijuana and all this other shit.
Yep.
I mean, are you fucking crazy?
Yeah. These things were done quietly. Nobody reported on any of this stuff. I actually went back and looked, and this is true. Zeneca pulled its damn vaxes because of excess deaths. That right there is like, hey, all of those immunities that Congress gave you because it was an emergency.
But remember when you and I were young, very rarely would you actually have a player in high school or college die on the field, just drop dead.
I never heard of it.
It almost never happened.
And then if it did happen
all the time,
if it did happen, it was a fluke neck break, like in a football game,
or a congenital heart defect that they didn't detect.
Yeah.
But it started happening. There's whole 30-minute
Reels.
videos on YouTube where they just show one after the other, somebody dropping dead or fainting on stage or on the field. All of these guys are supposed to be in the prime
Yep.
physical condition of their lives.
Yep. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. There was the fighter pilot who was landing on a deck and had a heart attack, and they caught his chatter as he was landing.
Mhm.
And he said something to the effect of fucking jab, something like that.
Yep.
It's craziness. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
I don't get it.
There's so much material here to go through that I don't know what to pick, and I'm stalling, looking for because it's just literally hundreds and hundreds of articles.
And none of this has actually been on the mainstream yet.
No, none of this has been on the mainstream news. Multiple studies confirm the shots cause cancer. Oncologists around the world are continuing to raise the alarm as growing number of new studies confirm that the mRNA is causing cancers. Two more new studies have just added to the swelling body of evidence showing that the injections trigger the rapid development and spread of cancer. According to a report from InfoWars, one study revealed that the spike protein from mRNA shots elicits gene interrupting activity. And I do understand because they're malevolent assholes, but the idea that you should create vaccines that tamper with people's DNA
Yeah, that is insane.
is insane. And for those of you out there who don't know what mRNA is, it's messenger DNA. That's what the M stands for. RNA is ribonucleic acid. DNA, of course, is deoxyribonucleic acid. For those of us who had school back in the day and not just babysitting for 12 years. Sorry, true story. But mRNA is messenger ribonucleic acid, and what it does is go in and rewrite a chunk of your damn DNA. It attaches itself to DNA and rewrites it and then begins replicating.
That's not good.
That should be illegal.
Yeah.
I didn't give you permission to rewrite my DNA. What are you
And
doing?
And what they do is they rewrite your DNA to produce the spike proteins.
Yeah.
Now, what happens if you put pumice in your motor oil? It will destroy your engine in no time flat.
Yeah.
So you have these spike proteins circling through your bloodstream. It's the equivalent of an irritant. It's like, sand or whatever. And it's causing you to build up these clots and scar tissues that are mainly made out of fibrin. And it's killing people hand over fist.
My big concern right now is we're about to start seeing the generation born after this event.
Yes.
And I am terrified that we're about to see a thalidomide moment.
Oh, that stuff is so horrible.
For those of you who don't know what that is, back in the 50s and 60s, doctors began giving women thalidomide. And I don't recall exactly what it was for because I'm old and my thinking meat doesn't work like it should anymore.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to look it up real quick. Sold under the brand names was an oral medication used to treat a number of cancers and many skin disorders. And they were giving this to people, and it produced what was called thalidomide babies, which created a tremendous number of birth defects to the point where anytime anybody saw a young child with a defect, they automatically called them thalidomide kids, thalidomide babies. And
they're actually seeing a lot of that as well in Vietnam from Agent Orange.
Yeah, well, it was a freaking cancer, dude. That was a bioweapon. Agent Orange is a horrible bioweapon.
Yeah.
I am terrified that right now we're going to start seeing that in the children being born today.
I'm just wondering how many people need to die before we start, going after these people for this.
The problem is 2 or 3 deaths is tragic and everybody wants to know what happened. 2 million deaths is a statistic used to make people follow a cause.
Yeah.
And there are people out there who aren't going to like this. And guess what? I don't care, but that's what the 6 million number is. Okay. Because there's records of it going all the way back to 1815. Same number over and over and over again from the same people. Same claim. 6 million.
Okay. All right.
Look, bad shit happened. That bad shit happened. I'm not denying that.
Uh-huh.
I'm not denying that bad shit happened. I'm just saying that that particular number got used as propaganda over and over and over again. And it's in the newspapers. All you got to do is go to a newspaper archive and look for that from the year 1800 on. And it comes up. I'm pointing out a method of propaganda. A big number gets people to rally around an idea. A small number makes people angry.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Because I have a feeling when enough people have lost, family and friends to this, there's going to be some dynamic action taken.
Yeah. I am honestly extremely surprised that it has not happened yet. Again, special agents frickin' frack, sit back down. We don't want to hear from you. We're just talking about the reality that all of the conditions have been right for somebody to go, you know what, I'm not taking this anymore, and do something particularly stupid. All of the conditions are there for it.
Yep.
Why are we still looking at this? Let's do that.
I don't know, man. And I sent you hundreds of links. All of it.
I know. I'm sitting here buying time, looking for good links.
Here's the thing, though. All of the links,
there's so many,
all circle back to the same thing.
Yeah.
We were injected with something that was not tested. It had foreign DNA in it. It had other chemicals, and there's even micro machines pieces or whatever in these injections. We're seeing the blood clots and the fibrin clots from the embalmers who took care of these carcasses.
Yeah.
We're looking at the 5-year moving average, and you're looking, because typically, you can expect a certain amount of people to die in a year. That's just the way it works. You drop out of the vagina, then you drop in the grave. And we've literally watched that go up. And we're getting reports of people being sterilized, just a whole myriad of other neurological and other issues going on.
Yeah.
We gave immunity to the companies that did this to us.
Yes.
Biden blatant pardoned virtually everyone involved in this so they can get away with it.
No, wait, I gotta pop back in here. A judge from the 9th Circuit, which is the most leftist court in the federal system, said all of Biden's preemptive pardons are invalid because no crime was committed. No crime, no pardon.
Okay. I'll believe that when I start seeing people get charged.
I agree.
All right. And I really hope that we can start bringing some of these people, 1, to justice, 2, bring the facts out into the light of day so everyone can see it. And perhaps those idiots on the left will actually get shamed into the fact that they were wronger than 2 boys fucking in church.
They don't have a sense of shame. You're wasting your time there.
I know. I'm just saying.
Okay.
But, I just can't believe this is such a huge crime on this global scale. And nothing's happening thus far.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
I daily comment when I see people, oh, they got him now. I'm like, call me when there's an arrest,
That's right.
when there's a head on the pike.
Because, we can investigate. It seems like they're always investigating, but nothing ever happens.
We have investigated ourselves and found no wrongdoing.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would love to see Fauci get extradited to Russia and then watch him get the gravity test.
So, in the case of all of the stuff we're talking about here tonight, I'd love to see every one of the scientists from Fauci on down get the treatment from the bad but still fairly clever Tom Clancy final novel, Rainbow Six. Did you read Rainbow Six?
Yes, I did.
Do you remember the ending?
Not really.
They take all of the scientists, everybody involved in the attempt to do exactly what was done to us during the lockdowns, during the COVIDs, and they drop them naked in the Brazilian rainforest and say, you want to play Back to Humanity? Okay, here you go. They drop all of them. They take everything from them and just drop them naked in the jungle. And then yeah.
See, I kind of have a similar approach to that, except for my approach is, well, I'm sure everybody knows the experiments that he, as in Fauci, did with the beagle puppies.
Yep.
I don't know. You hurt dog, I become bad person.
I have a very soft spot in my heart for dogs, but beagles are a little special to me because when I was a kid growing up, my mom had 2 beagles. They bred. They had 3 litters of puppies. So I was always around beagle puppies. You hurt a beagle puppy?
Yeah. My uncle had a pack. My uncle had a hunting pack of I have no idea, but I know it was more than 12.
Wow.
Yeah. So my approach would be, well, let's have Fauci his punishment will be what his treatment for those beagle puppies were. If you don't know, if you don't know, look it up. If you don't know, look it up because I don't want to say it on air.
Yeah, it's bad. It's ugly.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Okay,
right,
I'll do Fauci like that.
Super chats, but I need to take a piss break. Okay.
We got to hit a piss break. All right, let's see which one.
Weak bladder.
Squirrel bladder.
Squirrel bladder.
Let's see here. You know what? Instead of a pop deepfake, how about Blake Powers?
Do I make you horny, baby?
Yeah, baby, yeah! It's a man, baby.
Hey. You're very shaggy.
All right.
Yeah, we haven't seen that one in a while. And to those over on Rumble, I want to give an update. Pretty sure I have figured out a way that the chat will not fuck up on me.
Okay.
Right.
So I just fiddled with some settings on my laptop, just let the fucker open so it doesn't go into sleep mode. So we should be good to go. I double checked with the list that Mando sent me in private DMs. We're good to go.
Take it away, Jimmy.
Sweet. All right, we'll start over here on the U-Boob. I'm surprised they're still allowing us over there after tonight's topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, 574 viewers and 352 likes. Little on the light end, but we'll let it go. The first one here comes from Kenj1090 with $20. Says, last Friday was the 3rd anniversary of my dad's death. Stroke got him. He took the Moderna vax, and so did I. The more I think about it, the more I'm convinced that's what got him.
I'm sorry, man.
Yep. Raising a cold one for you.
Man.
Yep. All right, we got SR with $5 sending us a laughing fox emoji, I believe. Or doggo, doge, or whatever. Let's see here. Thank you very much, good sir. Let's see. Next one here. We got first We're Not Worthy of the Night comes from King Cobra JFS.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Says, rest in peace, Walt. Thank you for serving our country as a sniper for the Marines. He got Agent Orange as a result in the war in Nam. It's been really hard for his wife of 30 plus years. He smoked cigarettes like a train and he made it to his late 70s.
That's a good run.
It's a good run.
That's a good run.
I'll
Especially
drink to
in
that.
in that line of work.
Yeah. Next one here. We got Pete with $9.99. Says he lost his hand, then lost his arm, and then he was medically retired because he didn't work because he was sucking off everyone else's in their union dues. He got a scrawny pension. Next one here, we got FMF veteran with $10. Says, I had Hong Kong flu in 1968, which was way worse than the coof, which I had 3 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. I remember Hong Kong flu.
Next one, we got Zema Duvant with $2. Says, if someone changes your DNA, are you human?
I know, it's a good question.
That is a good question. Let's see. Next one, Plains Warrior, $2. Says, off topic, Kathleen Kennedy is out.
I beg pardon?
Winning.
Star Wars, Kathleen Kennedy.
She's the put a chick in it and make her gay, as the South Park joke would go.
She should have been fired 5-6 years ago.
Who was
she should have been fired? She's the she was the main head person of the new Disney Star Wars.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Check early life. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So she destroyed Star Wars and had a hand in destroying Marvel as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see. And last one here comes from Sean St. George with $1.99. He says, remember, folks, always question everything.
No.
Boy. I fucking learned that a long time ago.
No, all we do on this show is read the narrative. I don't like you. I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
That's one of the main reasons why I went special operations, because those guys just don't believe everything. Like, wait a minute. Let's re-examine this.
Yep.
I wasn't given a choice. John and Tony came and shredded my orders. I was so fucking mad. Anyway.
There we go. All righty. You know what? I'm going to hit a quick refresh on the Rumble side, see how the... Oh, come on. You guys are really slacking. 725 on Rumble with 173 likes.
Come on now.
My button pushing monkey finger is itching. It's itching.
Oh, it's going to be ugly.
But, well...
Brace for impact.
I'll torture you guys later.
Yeah.
When you're least expecting it.
Uh-huh.
But all right, jumping over to the Rumble side. Again, I did change some settings on my laptop so that it stays on. It doesn't go to sleep, so the chat is on there. So if I do miss one, that's on me.
That's what she
said. Allegedly. First one here says, LB Weaver says, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, Pop. Hope you'll be okay soon.
I'll be all right.
Maybe
or I won't. Not a big deal.
It'll be fine.
Nobody's going to die.
No, hell
You'll be fine.
Water and Midol, man. Water and Midol. Let's see. Yeah, Meg Talmando is in his first chat. He says, Pop, this soy society is too weak to actually fight.
Yep.
This always shifts.
Yep.
This always shifts. Good times make weak men.
And so on and so forth.
And so on and so forth.
Yep. See, Shooter 130 here with $5 says the problem with war is it wouldn't have killed the right people, aka old, sick, and stupid. Those were the targets with the vax.
Not going to argue with that. That does sound quite legitimate.
Yeah, it was totally logical and ethical to put coof patients in the old folks' homes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got next one here. We got from Dear Sarge. Hey, Sarge, good to see you there. Says $10. Says we need more effective vax. I still see fucktarded mask holes running around alive. More boosters for Bolsheviks, so I won't have to look at them. That's one.
There. That's one what? One Bolshevik?
Yep.
That's two. Drink.
All right, keep going.
We got Camp Chad the Impaler here. Says threatening people with camps for not taking the jab is unwise, considering how easy it is to destroy power substations. Take out the 9 right ones, and power goes out nationwide. Just say
that is a fact, and here is a reality of special operations. We dealt with this with the North Korean SOF, and our own SOF confirmed that this is it. You don't have to take out a whole factory. All you have to do is take out the one cog that causes the rest of the machine to tear itself apart.
Yep.
It's not about huge explosions. It's about the effect downstream.
Yep. Let's see. Next one, we got Jack X23 with $2. Says, I was in college in 2019. A lot of students got mysteriously sick in the fall of 19. Almost got kicked out of my master's program for refusing the jab.
Needs to be some lawsuits over that.
Yeah. And Mando coming back says, you know what doesn't seem to be coming out that much after January?
Ruh-roh.
The Troons.
Yeah.
Oh, there seems to be a whole fucking hullabaloo about a certain group of Troons and their nefarious deeds. And I'm not talking about the drag queens and all this other stuff. I'm talking about actual erroristic kind of stuff going on.
Yep.
You missed my rant about racist Nazi medieval horses earlier, Jimmy.
I'm gonna have to
go back. Yeah,
you
have to go back and watch that part. Yeah,
that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
And Jack X coming back says, held out until every hospital wouldn't hire me without it. So I got the minimum 2 shots. There were people at the hospital with 5.
God.
I didn't even take 1.
Mass hysteria.
Yep. And then it was funny. I was talking with my dad when this whole thing was going on. Says, oh, if you got over 100 employees, you're taking the jab. I would straight up tell them, if my job required me, my old job, I would say, if you require me to take this, I will load up my toolboxes right now and I will leave. No hesitation. I will not do it. Thankfully, that never came to fruition. See, next one we got Tomahawk, $10 says the fact that even today these shots are still on the market is proof that they're intentionally trying to depopulate.
Oh, can't argue with that.
Oh, there's a radio ad that comes on and around my area. It's apparently a black man talking to his elderly black mother, said, "Oh, well, there's new stuff about this and that. But, if you have diabetes or mental health issues, you're more advanced." And I'm like, just make it stop.
Yep.
Make it stop. We're not doing this shit ever again.
Out of curiosity, what is the black population of the region that you live in?
The majority of blacks here are either college students or my neighbor 2 doors down. He's also black. He seems to be all right. He keeps to himself and I keep to myself. So everything's all fine. There's a handful around my area. It's mainly white and Latino around my area.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's see. LB Weaver here with $5 says, Dwarfabetus. I'm not speaking to my sister, either over the way she acted at Christmas. I think she's coaching her grandchildren to avoid me, and I get the blame.
Yeah, I've seen that happen several times, and I have at least one doing that.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah,
that is. And Mando coming back says, absolutely nothing happened today in Sector 83 by 9 by 12 today.
Huh.
That's from Babylon 5.
Here you go. And Cliff 3188 coming in says, Battle Dwarf. Also, kids that were influenced to think they were trans by their teachers reverted back to their original beliefs, or factory settings is what I like to call it, of their gender during the lockdown.
Yes.
Interesting.
That's another nightmare that's going to come in the future. All of these detransitioners are going to probably be looking for some payback.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's going to create some monsters.
Yep.
That will create some monsters, because you're talking about people who literally sawed off body parts. And now I saw one earlier today from a troon who mutilated itself to be whatever it thought it was, and now straight women don't want it, straight men don't want it, gay women don't want it, gay men don't want it at all.
Yep.
And it's like, what do I do? Nobody will touch me. Nobody at all will touch me, because I'm not anything. I'm not a guy or a girl or anything.
Yep. It's called a eunuch.
Yeah. Let's see. I just happened to jump back to the YouTube side. It is very sad, and I really hate seeing people kind of go through that shit. But you know what? When you push that shit onto children, my sympathy level goes from mild to 0.
Yeah.
So, sorry. But I just happened to jump back over on the YouTube side, and well, I got to play it because Sean St. George.
Uh-oh.
He says Bolshevik. So that means the dwarf has been summoned.
Bolsheviks.
No, don't say it.
Bolsheviks.
No, please stop.
Bolsheviks.
It's showtime. Bolsheviks, baby. Everyone drink. Nice.
Wow.
Alrighty, there we go. Now we got that out of the way.
I'll
Here we
tell you
got
what, Jimmy.
68
I'll tell you what, Jimmy Von Baum. Give me some lines, and I'll do a couple of voiceovers if you want.
Billy apparently has a something that he's going to debut tomorrow night. I can't remember what he said it was, but apparently he's got something special in the works for some scary dark web videos, and apparently I'm going to be the button that he pushes. So
everybody gets fucked with.
And it's awesome. I like his idea. So go check out Billy Von Baum on YouTube. Have a good time with that. And jump back to
honestly, I think Pop and I have talked about this once or twice before, but honestly, when we were in the military, if you did not get fucked with, nobody liked you, and the guys who didn't get fucked with were always kind of sad.
Yeah. Everyone gets fucked with. That's the way.
Yeah. Everybody gets fucked with.
Yep.
It's not because we don't love you, it's because we do love you.
Yep. All right, next one here. I was going to say I was just about ready to push the button.
I got you. No homo.
Okay. And next one here on Rumble, we got 68 Barracuda with $5 says, I was forced to get the injection to keep my job. At the time, I was the only support for my elderly mother with dementia and my 8-year-old son. I want Titus Andronicus levels of vengeance.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna mention this real quick. We should have mentioned it earlier when we were talking about it, but T2207 is correct. One of the things with these mRNA shots is there is a lot of data out there that is indicating that if you had certain ones of them and they modified your DNA, you are arguably a patentable resource.
Huh.
And I saw a lot of that going around. a lot of talk about that, where you are basically a designer gene, which means that you can be owned.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Which is terrifying. If it doesn't apply now, I'll bet you they try to create designer DNA. I know they're trying to create designer DNA children, actually. There were stories about that a couple of years back. Remember that?
Yeah.
Designer babies. Well, if you're making them, then technically you own that shit, which is terrifying.
It is. That's fucked up.
Yep. Yeah, moving on here. Migta Mando coming back says, I used my Mandalorian helmet to fuck with the masksies. We need to see your eyes. Helmet off, no mask. You need a mask. Helmet on.
There were certain people I was grateful they were wearing a fucking mask. Straight up.
Yeah.
There were certain people I was grateful put the mask back on. You're a freaking troglodyte. Put that shit back on.
Yep. And next one here we got Count Chad the Impaler says, I recently reluctantly took the vax to keep my 6-figure DOD job. I'm a 20-year-old man and I'm halfway to 20-year man and I'm halfway to retirement now. But I did the J&J vaccine, the non-mRNA. Only did one shot, no boosters. Yeah. Isn't it kind of funny how
you had to do that? It's smart about it.
Isn't it kind of funny how Johnson & Johnson was a one and done and they just kept pushing all the other stuff?
Wait, so you only had to take one poke from their Johnson?
Phrasing.
It was right there. I had to.
Yeah,
right there. I had to.
Pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yep. Let's see. Jack X23 coming back says, Battle Dwarf, trust me from experience, no lab is clean.
I know, but we're talking about your kitchen counter at home versus a lab that can be reasonably sanitized.
Yeah. And if you have a cat, you need to sanitize your countertops.
Nothing is sanitized.
Almost daily.
Just kill the cat.
I don't mind other people's cats. Stress other people's cats.
Correct. Let's see. Rule Man Live here with $5 says the national LTL company I was working for during the shutdown had a special exemption on working masks required. All private company employees won a decision from the High Court. No vaccine mandate.
Yep. A lot of these people who are forced to take the vaccine, they should be able to sue their employers for being forced to do it. I mean, that is just fucked up.
Absolutely.
Yep. And Rule Man coming back again says LTL is less than load freight.
Okay.
Don't ask the chicks that go behind the dumb dumpster about loads.
Yeah. I watched that pussy in the sink.
Let's see. 68 Barracuda coming back says, hey, Pop, you just earned a homo suspicion point for talking about vitamin D. Money shot. Well, since I wasn't here and I can't fucking attest to it or counteract it, well, here's your homo suspicion point, Pop.
You are fined 1 homo suspicion point for violation of the Man Code Morality Statute.
Bastard.
Let's see. Next one. Holy smoke of Joe Frazier. William Crane with $100. Let me scroll up to it. Where's it at? Thank you, good sir. We are not worthy.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, sincerely. Thank you.
This comment is, I learned my lesson on government-mandated pokes back in 2004 in the Big Red Weenie. VAIDS from the smallpox or anthrax set cured itself in 2 weeks, but ran at 100+ temp in a Kraken house for that amount of time.
Wow.
So he got what, the anthrax, and he ran a temperature, or was it smallpox?
VAIDS from the smallpox or anthrax set.
Okay, because typically when you did, because I got the smallpox when I was in basic, and I ran a fever for 2 or 3 days. So it does happen.
Yep, that might be what he's talking about there. Let's see, next one we got Count Chad coming back, says not all have in their personality to do what Stalin created. There there's the Russian word for black work. Revolutions led to people like Vasily Bolkin, Guinness World Record for the most prolific executioner.
Yeah. Vasily Bolkin and Beria worked hand in hand. Beria is the guy who was deleted from the photo with Stalin walking along the river Volga.
You know you fucked up when you get, basically edited
Photo
out
with Stalin. Yeah.
photoshopped out before Photoshop was even a thing.
Right. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Count Chat comes back, says Bolkin killed 7,000 people shot by German Walther Model 2 25 ACP pistol in 28 days at Katyn. He worked 10 hours a night.
Yeah.
He was a NKVD.
Yes, that was the Katyn Forest Massacre, which was later blamed in the 50s on the Nazis. But then Putin released the actual records, and it turns out that it was the guy you're talking about there.
Wow. Shocker.
Yep.
Let's see. Up, Mando, we already beat you to the punch with that one. He says, Bolshevik, Bolshevik, Bolshevik. We've already played it. Sorry.
Sorry,
Actually,
man.
Sean St. George beat you to the punch on that, so you're gonna have to feud with him in the Gilded Chat about that. Let's see. Mando coming back again. It says, Battle Hobbit, your DNA will be used for training purposes.
Training what? What are you going to train with my DNA? Good luck with that. You're going to get angry dwarf chefs
Who speak multiple languages.
Who speak multiple languages and make 50 gallons of meat at a time.
Hey, sounds like a good deal to me.
We're about to be up to 55 gallons of meat, by the way, Pop.
All right.
Yeah.
I might need a gallon or two of that.
Well, I've got to get this stuff into some kind of storage because my house is starting to look like a barrel factory. So
fun times.
The wife is only going to tolerate so much of this.
Right. Yeah. Let's see. Next one here. Rainyard 69 here comes in and says, thalidomide was prescribed for morning sickness. It was very effective if you don't mind the mass miscarriages and dwarf babies.
Yeah.
Thalidomide, yes, exactly.
There you go. Rule Man coming back says this mRNA jab sounds like getting exposed to high doses of radiation based on what it does to a body's DNA.
I believe the effect is somewhat similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's see. Next one here. We got Tomahawk $5 says you guys forgot to mention the hospital protocols, which were intentional murder. Remdesivir was prescribed to shut down kidneys, causing the lungs to fill with fluid. Ventilator finished them off.
Pop and I have a friend, our friend Hip, who watched her father be killed by that in real time.
Yeah, that's fun.
I was on the phone with her the entire time. We were trying to get somebody in there, a legal counsel in there, and we were too late by like 2 hours.
Fuck. Yeah. See, next one. Mighty Mouse Malibu with $10 says tie them to a stake at a short distance behind an F-15 and slowly bring up the throttle to full burner. Modern brazen bull. If you made the fire, I think you should burn it. I don't know. I still think the fancy lawn ornaments would send a good message. You know, there was a guy down in Transylvania that really liked his fancy lawn ornaments.
Sure, something. His name was something. Anyway, fancy lawn ornaments everywhere.
Yeah,
everywhere.
Vlad.
Yep.
Blood.
Barabic Musing here with $5 says tonight's was a banger. Nice. Thank you.
Right.
Mighty Mouse Malibu coming back says my dad served in the Brownwater Navy in Nam, served in an Agent Orange hotspot. It affected him, and it wouldn't be surprised if it had something to do with my health issues.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fucked up.
Very, very fucked up. Let's see here. Next one here is from Mando come again. Phrasing. Says, isn't there found footage of Pop and Killary? I'm pretty sure there is, isn't there?
Stop.
Come on,
What
Pop.
a dip!
Mmm, so good and tasty.
So good and tasty.
God damn, that's horrible.
Ugh. Makes my skin crawl.
Oh.
That's the Tantalum 180 coming in, and he says, you not being okay is indeed a big deal to all of us here. Don't be a peg D or slot C. I'll use witchcraft to resurrect you, then kick you in the ass to have one last drink with you, fucker.
Okay. All right.
Well, as long as it's necromancy and not necrophilia, because that's just wrong.
Yeah.
Let's see. N2 Gas here says dwarf count is 4 since the start. Only 2 since Jimmy started. Must be talking about Bolsheviks.
They're probably talking about Bolsheviks.
Probably. Let's see. Professor Blake Pooh Ass Blaster 3000. Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Not only is there found footage of Pop and Hillary.
Uh-oh.
Oh, God.
Battledorf, isn't there something about you and Pelosi?
Eat a bag of deox. Eat the whole bag of deox.
Yeah.
Nobody even likes you. Eat the whole bag of deox.
Everybody gets fucked with, and it's fucking hilarious.
It's so true.
Let's see. 68 Barracuda coming in again. It says, yes, only one poke for their Johnson here, too. Phrasing.
There you go. Yeah.
I mean, all it does is take one poke from a Johnson to ruin your life.
Jimmy Bomb. What if the evil button pushing monkey in AOC were sucking face behind the bowling alley?
I would laugh my ass off because no one else gets that footage except for me. I'll send it over to Billy Von Baum, and I'll make sure he gets on it.
Stop it. This is just disgusting.
Oh, come on. It's totally not like AOC has chased you down the road with a big blue dildo, Pop.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's see. Moving on here. We got.
She is not even 10 shots closing time hot.
No.
Ugh.
No. Let's see. Tomahawk here says, my job was playing with the idea of making it mandatory. I was ready to walk. Fortunately, they never went through with it. Good. Mighty Mouse Malibu coming in says, at work, we borrowed our air sampler we used for aircraft fuel tanks for confined spaces. Put it in a mask while wearing it. If we were in confined space, it would be off limits to entry.
Oh. Yeah. All right.
There you go. Hey, speaking of a certain impaler, Count Chad the Impaler, he loves his fancy lawn ornaments.
Yeah. I like fancy lawn ornaments.
Don't we all? Don't we all? Let's see. Next one here. Up, LB Weaver. He's got a request.
Uh-oh.
And you know what it is, Pop? It's your favorite one.
I hate this one. I hate that one.
It is uncanny how your face fits.
I
that.
know. It's got me like, it just wigs me out.
It's funnier and shit, though. Let's see. Looks like last one here on the Rumble side before I do the double check here. We got Tomahawk here says, don't act like you wouldn't try to fuck the commie out of AOC. Well, she doesn't have any brains to fuck out. So, I mean.
No. I wouldn't tap that with Jeffrey Epstein's dick. No.
Yeah, I'm working on a 7-year dry spell, I
Yeah.
would pass.
Yeah, that is a hard no on all counts.
Technically, wouldn't it be a soft no because you wouldn't get hard with AOC? Asking for a friend.
Yeah.
It's fair.
It's fair.
It's fair.
Fair enough. All right, let's see. We'll jump over here to the MGTOW side of things. I'm pretty sure all you degenerates over there are having a good time. Let's see. Only one over there from MGTOW Ronin, $5, says, "Evening, Pop, Jimmy, and Battle Dwarf. Not to change the subject, but Jane Fonda has been in the news lately for her TDS. Only boomers and us old Gen Xers remember Fonda's shagnanigans during the Vietnam War era.
Yeah.
Traitor.
Question: was all of her bullshit back then simply rich white liberal girl virtue signaling, or was she just being a rich white liberal cunt, aka Hanoi Jane?"
She was a traitor.
Her actions made her a traitor. I think she did it just because she thought it would be edgy and would get her freaking Hollywood points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Honestly. It was all in her head. It was all just a marketing thing,
Yep.
but it was actually treason. It was straight up treason.
Let's see. Mando coming in says, "Only 7, Jimbo. Find me when you reach 12 years."
Wow.
I'm pretty sure I'm on track to get to that point.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I prefer my peace over pussy.
Peace is highly underrated.
Yeah.
And pussy is overrated and stressful.
It's also expensive.
Yes. Let's see. Looks like we only got one over on the Odyssey side. We got $20 from Mark D's channel. Says, "Pop, so what you're saying is that taking the poke is like nominating Kamala as your immune system's cancer-fighting czar. That's bad, right?"
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be bad.
That's bad. That's bad.
Yeah. Well, and she wouldn't give you a word salad. She would be injected with ranch dressing.
Nope.
Just like how she was multiple times.
Nope.
That's nasty.
Nope.
I really need a Sideshow Bob button. Just the. Let's see. Over on D-Lab, we got 7 viewers over there. No lemons or whatnot, but we got 4 Poker 20. Just gave us a follow.
All right. Welcome aboard.
Awesome. And over on the Twitch side, of course, we got our usual 12 group of the Dirty Dozen over there. Good to see you guys over there. And over on the Twatosphere, how many we got there? We got 61 over there.
Oh, that's an increase that I'm aware of.
Fluctuate between 50 and 75.
Okay. Yeah, there's been times where I've seen over 100 over there, so that's all good.
All right.
All good. Let's see, let me jump into the emails here. Let's see. We got Paul sent in $50. Says, see the email that he's got for us. But first, Paul, you get one of these.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Thank you very much.
Let's see. Oh no.
Ruh-roh.
I don't sing, man. Tell you what, instead of me singing it, I'll send this over to Billy Von Baum, and he can make a Battle Dwarf hymn.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, I'm not a singer, man, but I'm gonna have to read through that, and I'm definitely gonna have to read through that. So
look, I'm just gonna fall on this grenade here. I don't know why Billy Von Baum has not yet made an original old school 70s fantasy island with Pop and me. I mean, it's so obvious it's not funny.
The Bolsheviks.
Pop is Mr. Rourke and me is Tattoo. I mean, I'm just gonna fall on that grenade. That's an obvious one.
I will be sure to send Billy a DM on there. Make sure that gets made. That'd be fucking hilarious. Let's see. Susan McCarley here. $30 for the Bolshevik.
Outstanding. Thank you, Zeus.
Thank you so much.
Let's see. And we got $20 here from Mark. Says, for your wisdom saved me from a relationship.
Good.
Good.
Nice.
Good. Yeah.
Awesome. Let's see. Crusader Nate. Hey, good to see you there, good sir. $2 says, Billy Von Baum, new Battle Dwarf phone skit, please.
What?
Oh, is he talking about this one here? Where's it at? Is it this one right here?
Someone sent me a message. I'm not turned on by this. I'm married. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, come to Papa.
Is that the one you were asking for, Nate? Because I'm pretty sure that's the one you were asking for.
Everyone gets fucked with.
You bastard. That's funny.
Yes. Yeah, let's see. We got Vincent Van Gogh, fuck yourself. With $3 says, need a Cleveland button. Oh, that's nasty.
That would be funny.
And Vincent coming back with another $2. He says, liar, Jimmy, you sang karaoke with me at the bar. Yeah, but I was drunk.
Ruh-roh.
I only sing karaoke.
Ruh-roh, there are Jimmy stories we don't know.
Uh-oh.
I've only had 2 beers, man. That's not enough to make me sing karaoke. Sorry.
That's what she said.
All righty, let's see. Let me jump back through here, make sure that we're not going to miss anybody. We got Sharpshooter James back over on YouTube for $4.99 says, wouldn't you just be sucking teeth instead of face?
Yeah,
probably if you were hooking up with AOC. Yeah, the donkey dentures,
the pole scratchers.
Again, where's my Sideshow Bob button?
The cheese shredder. Ugh.
That's terrible, man. Terrible. Let's see. Looks like no others on the Rumble side here. Jump back over to MGTOW, give that a refresh. Double check over on Odyssey. Looks like nothing else new over there. MGTOW is all caught up. So, gentlemen.
All right.
I believe we're ready to call it a night. And Pop, we need a safety briefing.
All right, everybody. Don't drink and drive. Don't drink and swim. It's not going to work out for you. If you must fornicate, wear a condom. Take it with you because latex will save paychecks and child support will last 18 to 21 years. Rack up and pack up and stack up. There's always safety in numbers, and maintain your situational awareness because if something is going to attack you, your environment will have changed, and it's up to you to see it. I'm sick and tired of throwing you dudes in the dirt because you're taking permanent solutions to temporary problems. Play the long game. You have no idea what tomorrow will bring. Stay in the fight, and if all else fails, live at a motherfucking spite. Boom. Beer me.
Winning. Dwarfabetus.
Well, Brissinger slid $1 in there at the last minute right under the line and said, yeah, I'm going on 11 years myself. Hey, look, with all the stuff that's going on right now, we haven't seen any arrests yet or anything like that. I'm going to reiterate what I've been saying for some time now. Politics is local. You have to get off the couch. Those of you who can, get out there, get involved in your local communities. You're going to have to take an office. I'm sorry. Go do a term. We got to set this right ourselves. This has to be done. I'm standing up the Musket Party. I'm starting to get some traction right now. It's just on Gab, but just find the Musket Party. There's a group, and I've created an avatar for that. And we're going to start putting forward some ideas for party platforms and how to actually get this thing done, because it's got to be us, guys. It's got to be us. The price of liberty is eternal vigilance.
Correct.
There you go. And hopefully when the Musket Party does gain traction and enough followers, and we can actually start making local municipalities start seeing the way that citizens can do it, we can do this to those that have been screwing us over for decades and decades.
We need to take the local municipalities. To hell with making them see anything. I want them out on the fucking curb. We need to do this. We're the only ones out there who can do this.
Yep.
It has to be us.
Yep. Here's a hint. We're the dogs. They're the walker.
That never gets old, man.
Yeah, that's accurate.
There you go.
There you go.
All right, gents. And of course, you already know my other spiel and whatnot. Let me bring it up here. Head on over. Redonkulas.com. We've got Stay in the Fight, Live Out of Spite merch. The newest addition to the lineup there. Be sure to get all that good shit. Get a shirt. I know it's still kind of cold out, still kind of warm out. Get you a sweat, get you a hoodie, get you a beanie. Just get it all. All of the stuff.
All of the stuff.
All of it. And of course, as always, keep your powder dry and the cootie juices off your dishes.
All right.
Take it easy.